have another paper? They said no. And since from the exam to my hostel, I was just shouting. I can't believe it that it was me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
That was great.
High five.
Thank you. Oh, high five! Woo! This is beautiful. Let's do it again. Thank you so very much for having us. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very
We are going beyond NSAS. Nigeria must work for Nigeria.
If 10 million a year you can contribute for 500 naira now, we have nothing less than 6 to 7 billion naira, and by that time we form our party.
No Nigerian is more Nigerian than any Nigerian. It's right time for we to stand up and take our future back. This is a battle we are winning. We are winning this. But we stand in this country. We stand in the citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
We want a Nigerian society where the child of it can be without doing any. Without doing any.
I would therefore advocate that as we protest for a better policing and society, we must also remember that our workers, politicians, lecturers, civil servants, judges, lawyers, doctors, police are drawn from amongst us. And it is those little injustices that we failed or neglect to address years ago that became the convention that we are addressing now. Let us start anew and with a new orientation and a new social order. If government treats everyone as a stakeholder in the Nigerian project, and we collectively see ourselves as such, and all do our little bit, whether anybody is watching or not, we would have reduced the SARS in our life without having to change the name from SARS to SWAT.
Security cameras for the Lekki Plaza are still available. These are some of the footage that we're going to use for our own investigation. I will not stop at anything to ensure that I continue to apologize to everyone, to all of us, on this line that we find ourselves.
I am indeed deeply pained that innocent lives have been lost. These tragedies are uncalled for and unnecessary. Both our deeds and words have shown how committed this administration has been to the well-being and welfare of citizens. I would like to appeal to protesters to note and take advantage of the various well thought out initiatives of this administration designed to make their lives better and more meaningful. Your voice has been heard, loud and clear, and we are responding. I therefore call on our youth to discontinue the street protests and constructively engage government in finding solutions.
We're a great nation.
When I heard him, I didn't know he was a sickler until last year. Though at birth, from birth till like age 2, he was always getting sick, always leg pain, my hand and everything. We did a genotype test, then they told us to say AA. So we didn't even think it was sickle cell anemia. So once it clocked 2, he stopped having crisis. So we continued like that until last year. It was a mistake. It was during the exam, he now started serious, couldn't breathe properly again. Though naturally, he's always been on no matter what he eats, he doesn't add weight. But for him, I knew from birth that he was a sickler.
Some of my own experience are the hand pain. The hand pain, I've never experienced the hand pain. I only experienced it once after all the pains were gone. But the chest thing was the first I started experiencing.
When there is a deformity in this oxygen carrying capacity of the blood, that is, there is a deformity in the red blood cells. This oxygen carrying capacity, it becomes abnormal. It can no longer hold. Now, what we call sickling, that word sickle cell comes from sickling of the red blood cells. The red blood cell is biconcave, and when it is now sickled, its corpse is sickled. You know, like a sickle. That means the capacity, the ability to carry oxygen is reduced.
There are a lot of challenges, but I will go with, growing up having sickle cell is one of the most difficult things ever. And I believe also that surviving sickle cell is dependent on how the warrior has been treated.
Living with it in your school days, you have to know how to survive. Sometimes you miss classes, you miss exams because you're having a crisis. Sometimes you have to, the relationship between your family and friends becomes, there's this strain, especially if you don't have a patient family, that really understand what sickle cell is.
I was exposed to a lot of medications, a lot of treatments, a lot of prayer houses, a lot of deliverance sessions. So, being a child, you have no option. You just have to go with whatever your parents say.
Whenever any person has had sickle cell and there is manifestation, then what we can do is to now treat or prevent them from having crisis. There is one thing to have sickle cell, another thing is to have crisis from the sickle cell. This crisis is derived to oxygen to the blood cells.
Malaria is something that actually brings my own crisis and blood infection, the usual typhoid that they call. If it starts with my limbs, I know malaria is around the corner. But if it starts with my vertebral column, I know that this could be blood infection.
What makes me know that, okay, probably I'm going into crisis is that I start feeling a bit tired, a bit weak. Then I start feeling these pinches, on my body. I started having crisis even before we knew it was sickle cell. So I've been living with I'm 35 now. So Let me say for 35 years.
There are times I don't go to work for like a month, sometimes 2 months, as long as the crisis lasts. But thank God for the kind of people I work with. They tend to understand with me. It's financially burdensome. Your work, if you don't have good people working with you, it affects that too. And some people, there are some instances where you lose a job.
I won't say it has been easy for with the siblings and him as well. Most times when we are on break and we get to witness him during the crisis, it is always heartbreaking and a tough one to see, to be honest.
There are many complementary remedies. So many people have tried different things. But we know, scientists, that the major cure for sickle cell is red cell transplant, bone marrow transplant. Go down and transplant the whole genital cells, okay, and transplant it so that they will now start producing the new cells, the newborn cells that carries oxygen better than the adult regular cells. So that's the major treatment. The other complementary measures are just palliative. People have tried. Well, for scientifically, we have also used hydroxyurea, one of these medications.
And the stigma starts from home sometimes, right? That's from the family. And of course, they will think you're different. And this brings about conflicts between, sometimes they even say it's the woman's fault, right, for bringing forth a child with sickle cell. So there's this conflict between a household.
The stigma is still there. Now, what did you do now? Why didn't you do blood tests before you know? At the point you're telling somebody this is what's going on, it's not as if you've not actually blamed yourself for what happened enough, but they're still telling you you should have known better.
Someone has told me that if you die, you are not in the child. Okay, I don't know if you get the message that was being passed, like you cry so much. Every time it's all about you, every time you're always sick and all that kind. I didn't cause this for myself.
The first time that I told them that I was a sickle cell, but they didn't believe me until my mommy told them that I was actually a sickle cell. That's when they not believed me. They apologized for laughing, then they not started treating me nicely.
I've been in a relationship where the parent told the person I was going out with that they don't live longer. There's no hope in getting married to this person, and they wouldn't want their child to go into a short marriage.
Some of it are, let's start with our cultural and religious beliefs that this is not a genetic problem. They don't see it as a medical problem. They see it as spiritual in Africa. So these are the kind of things we want people to know, that this is a medical condition and can be managed. When you give birth to a child and the child is always falling sick, high fever, always crying and all that, automatically people will think that, okay, the child is possessed. Some people believe that it is contagious. Before all the medical interventions, children die before the age of 5, not because it's spiritual, but because there's lack of hospital care and proper drugs. But with hospital care and proper drugs now coming into play, there's a bit of improvement, and warriors can live to 90 years.
So the parents need to be educated that if their genotype does not match for use at least AS or AA, they should not go ahead and marry.
I am still blessed. There's a lot of pain associated with it, but I'm still thankful. You know what I'm saying? I'm still grateful. I mean, regardless of everything, I still have someone who was able to kind of, damn the consequences and say, okay, yo, forget about what other girls have said. I'm going to marry you, regardless of what they've said. I'm going to take a risk on you. And she did. And I got married, and I have 2 kids.
For me, it has helped me to build a lot of positivity. Because I've been surrounded by so many negativity. I just had to develop it. But then, you can be stronger than anything that is thrown at you by life. If you choose to be strong. If you let situation, you don't have to be a victim all the time.
For children with sickle cell, your life is still ahead of you. You can be anything in life. There is no limit to how far you can get to.
Thank you for joining us on News on the Hour on Plus TV Africa. Here are the stories making the headlines. I am Osaogie Ogbonwa. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, on Friday confirmed 170 new COVID-19 cases with 3 coronavirus-related deaths recorded in 10 states and the Federal Capital Territory in the last 24 hours. Lagos State reported 106 cases of the new virus, followed by the FCT with 25 cases. Oyo had 14 cases, Edo and Kaduna reported 7 cases each, while Ogun had 4 cases. Other states are Bauchi with 2 cases, same with Benue State, Kano, Osun and Rivers all with 1 case each. The Public Health Agency said that the new confirmed cases brings the nation's total number of COVID-19 infections to 62,691. It added that more than 620,758 samples have been tested by the agency, out of which 62,691 were positive in the country. 181 patients were successfully treated and have now been discharged from isolation centers across the country. Welcome back, and now moving on to Edo State, where the Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal on Friday commenced sitting in Benin. The tribunal will be reviewing petitions filed by political parties challenging the declaration of Governor Godwin Obaseki as the winner of the September 19th governorship poll in the state. The political parties seeking to nullify Obaseki's victory include the Action Democratic Party, ADP, the Action People's Party, APP, Action Alliance, AA, Allied People's Movement, APM, and the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP. The chairman of the three-man panel, Justice Abdulrazak Abdul Karim, asked for the cooperation of all parties, assuring them that the tribunal will perform its duties without prejudice. And the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the October 10th governorship election in Ondo State, Eyitayo Jegede, has filed a petition at the tribunal challenging the victory of Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. Other defendants in the petition are the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, the All Progressive Congress, and the Deputy Governor-elect, Lekki Ayedatiwa. Among the grounds on which the election is being challenged include that it was marred by irregularities and pockets of violence and intimidation. He asked the tribunal to declare him the winner of the election. And still in the news, the Shelter Initiative for the African Woman says that it has lost over 150 million naira to hoodlums who attacked its premises in Abuja searching for food palliatives. The privately owned initiative, which caters for women and youths in Nigeria, giving food aid to the poor and vulnerable and revolving loans to women entrepreneurs, says the hoodlums carted everything in sight within the premises, including doors, window protectors, overhead tanks, plumbing materials, and others. The site manager of the estate, Joseph Chukwu, urged the police to investigate those behind the attacks and tasked the state government to speedily come to their aid.
They came in the afternoon and we were able to have repelled them. But in the night, it simply couldn't, we couldn't just hold them off anymore. They came with everything that they could and raided the estate. The two houses that housed those food items were boggled and everything there looted. They vandalized the house, took away things that are not food items, took away every plumbing materials, every electrical materials in those houses, went to our main office and scattered away goods that actually cannot be quantified as I speak with you now. We're asking the police to do a thorough investigation, but we actually need the government to come in and do.
The judicial panel of, I'll take that again, the Lagos judicial panel set up by the state government to investigate the Lekki shooting on Friday paid a visit to the military hospital at Ikoyi to inspect the morgue. The panel, led by Doris Okuwobi, a retired judge, disclosed the unscheduled visit to the morgue at the military hospital after Friday's sit-in. The inspection is to help the panel with evidence that could assist their investigation. Ebun Adegborua, a senior advocate of Nigeria who was a member of the panel, said the visit was born out of intelligence reports the panel received. The panel, which met with resistance from the military officials, declared that they had the backing of the state governor, and the president, Muhammadu Buhari, also gave them the authority to conduct the investigation. The military hospital is controlled by the 65 Battalion, a unit of the Nigerian Army, alleged to have sent soldiers to the Lekki toll gate on the 20th of October. After several minutes of waiting at the gate of the military hospital, the military allowed the panel members accompanied by journalists into the premises. And we're now joined by political analyst Biodun Showumi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, it's my pleasure. Good morning.
I'm going to start with asking, for your clarifications on some things a lot of people have been talking about, and that is the capacity of the Judicial Panel of Inquiry to truly investigate the cases of police brutality across the country and, of course, the incidents at the Lekki toll gate.
Yeah, I have no doubt that the government has done the right thing, setting up a independent panel, judicial panel. People like Ulu Adeguru and so many of them are people noted for their fairness, and then they've represented the views of the people at different points in time. So I am not in any doubt that this panel is made up of competent, capable, and independent-minded people. However, about the ability to discharge their function, that's a different thing completely. We have seen an example where the military authorities tried to inhibit them, to deny them access to the morgue, of the military hospital. Eventually, they were able to go through, but you should expect some of these bottlenecks, on the way, because the investigation will reveal some uncomfortable truths for some people. Do not forget the Chief of Army Staff initially denied that the Nigerian Army was involved. And then you are now moving gradually to, yes, the Nigerian Army was involved. They were called in by Lagos State government, but they did not shoot at protesters. So gradually you have gotten to the military hospital. We are now beginning to see whether in reality there are dead bodies there, which many people believed they were actually there.
All right, Mr. Shoumi, I want you to also speak on your expectations generally. If you expect anything concrete to come out of this inquiry, and also add to that as quickly as possible. If you are familiar with the laws setting up the state panels of inquiry, and what they are given the legal backing to investigate, which might be traditional and state affairs, do you think that they have the capacity, once again, to investigate issues of police brutality? Looking, of course, at the laws, that create the police that are not state but federal instead.
Oh yes, when you look at the law that created the panel, it's quite clear that they give them the latitude to unearth those factors responsible, for the shooting of protesters, those who actually killed, how many people were killed. Where we will run into a sticking problem is those who actually shot. Every single panel in the past have always been unearthing this problem. You remember when we had the Kalakuta, burning of Kalakuta Republic? They set up a panel. They came out with unknown soldiers. Eventually, the Ransom Kuti family were compensated. I am looking at a situation where for once, this panel will be able to identify, the particular soldiers responsible for shooting and who gave the orders for shooting, so that they can be, punished. The reason why this happened is because the military authorities have always been covering their own with the slogan of unknown soldiers. The compensation is always not the problem. The federal government is always willing, to pay compensation. So that is the sticking point. Whether this panel will actually identify the soldiers involved, who deploy them, and who give them the orders. I think that is the expectation. It's not about compensation for the victims. And then the rules of engagement have always been very clear when it comes to military involvement in civil police. They do not have that responsibility.
All right.
The Nigerian police have the responsibility for policing. So we probably need to recruit more police officers, train them, and then stop using military men, for civilian policing. So, but that should be part of the recommendation, because when you look at the entire Nigerian police force, we only have 400,000, about 400,000 to police 200 million people. It's grossly inadequate. So these are some of the things we'll expect the judicial panel to look into, with the view to recommend, the ratio of a police officer to how many citizens, so that we can address this problem. Because of police shortages, that is why they keep calling the military in. So we need to fix this problem, return the military to the barracks to protect the territorial integrity of the country, and allow the police, even with their imperfections, to continue to police the country.
All right. Beyond the show, lastly, I also want you to speak on from what you've seen yesterday, the arrival at the hospital. They discovered it wasn't functional. They, of course, wanted to still take a look at the military hospital to see what they could find. There's also been videos and reports of, their visiting the Lekki toll gate, the LCC office, and a couple of other places. But I want you to speak quickly on the logistics and the forensics that are needed to truly investigate some of those incidents. Do you see that they have all of that in place? Can they truly carry out these investigations, asking for video footage, asking for forensic investigators to also step in? How do you think they may need assistance in that area?
Yes, they do need assistance with gathering materials. No one is expecting that the military authorities will cooperate easily. They will hide at every point in time. You have to get clearance on every single item you want to take away. So because the military is the culprit this time around, so one is expecting them not to fully cooperate. That is in the nature of the military. It's quite different from the Nigerian police force. Now, but the press can help because so many people were at the scene on that day. I was actually at the scene on that day, and I left at 6 p.m. just before the shooting. Now, what the press can do is also to help with their footages and submit it to this panel. This will go a long way to help in terms of gathering materials. There are also Nigerians who have materials and footages which they should be submitting to this panel. It will not be an easy task. The issue, the crucial point will always be on identifying those who actually shoot and those who gave the orders to shoot. I am sure the Lagos State government will be willing to help on who was contacted, who was the officer contacted. It's that officer that will reveal who he actually spoke to, and that will lead you to who actually gave the orders, that soldiers should move in, and who are the soldiers sent in. It's incumbent on the press and the Lagos State government to provide whatever materials they have, to assist this judicial panel.
All right, Piotr Jomi, thank you so much for joining us and for sharing your thoughts with us.
It's my pleasure.
You're still watching News on the Hour on Plus TV Africa. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to News on the Hour, and now for stories in other parts of Africa. A Kenyan court sentenced 2 men on Friday to 18 years in prison for helping gunmen from Islamist group Al-Shabaab storm Nairobi's Westgate shopping mall in a 2013 attack that killed 67 people. Mohammed Ahmed Abdi and Hussein Hassan Mustafa are the only people convicted in relation to the 4-day assault which showed the Somali militants could strike in one of the most secure areas of the Kenyan capital. They were sentenced to 18 years on each of the 2 charges brought under a National Terrorism Prevention Act to be served concurrently. Abdi was given an additional 15-year jail sentence for possession of materials promoting terrorism.
For the offense of conspiracy to commit a terrorist act in count number 2, each of the accused persons is sentenced to serve 18 years imprisonment. In count number 5 and 6 against the first accused person, he is sentenced to serve 15 years imprisonment. The 2 sentences, that is in count 5 and 6, will run concurrently, and therefore putting together 18 years plus 15, you get 33. You take away 7, you get what you get. That's the sentence that will serve.
We're now joined this morning from Kenya by Dr. David Masanga, the chairman, Punchline Africa TV. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Masanga.
Thank you very much, my brother from Lagos, Nigeria, Lagos, Good morning, all of you, and our viewers all over the world, wherever you are.
Absolutely. 7 years after, it seems justice has somehow finally come for victims of that attack at the Westgate Mall. Quickly speak to us about the judicial system and why did it take 7 years to come to this place?
You see, terrorism is one of the worst type of crimes to be committed. You must piece together the forensically put together everything from telephone conversations, credit card, all this, cars used, cars bought, people who stayed with these guys, who are those. So it took actually more than 7 years because the justice system here is very thorough. It doesn't want to allow anybody to be convicted for nothing. There are people that were even released. One of them walked free. So it took all that time. And I want to correct what you said. It is 26 years. They were sentenced. One was 33 minus 7. Another one will serve 18 years. So it is around there. If you remove 7, you come to that amount of years that they will serve in jail. So it took a long time because the detectives down here in Nairobi, in Kenya, had to piece up to get even their foreign backers. You know, terrorism is not on the home ground, it is outside ground.
Yes, fully understood.
You are aware what is going on in your own country, in the north of your country. There is a lot of sleeper cells that even give information. So we had to piece these pieces, put it together, then bring a tight case. Even if you go for appeal, the appeal judge could even increase more, could even say this sentence was not worth it. You go for life. Because if you are...
All right, hold on, Dr. Matanga, and of course, thanks for clarifying that. But also share with me, with the magnitude of that attack, it is also maybe a little hard to understand why only 2 men for now would take the fall for that. Are there still other culprits related to the case that are still being investigated?
First of all, to sentence one terrorist is good enough because you would have got what you want. I'm a soldier by background, if you didn't know, so I'm a security operative. Then to sentence one person is good enough in terrorism because he will tell you exactly what happened, how it was planned. On this case, you can see that Kenya has managed to actually, because of the cooperation of all agencies in Nairobi, they have managed to stall any further attacks that come from Somalia. We are faced with a very huge problem that is a porous border that gives the terrorists time to enter. And also, their funders are within and without. Some of them who aid them to get these cars, to get this telephone. You can imagine a terrorist rang 226 times. And this information was recorded in our telephone Safaricom. He was ringing, planning how to go and kill people. So these are some of the things that we had to do, and I'm happy the Kenyan government did it.
All right, quickly also share your thoughts with us. Of course, the very dastardly act was carried out by the Al-Shabaab terrorist group. What are your thoughts on the government's war against terrorism in Kenya? Would you say the government is winning?
Yes, I wish Nigeria borrowed from us. Yes, time has come for us to share. Boko Haram is defeating you up in the north. Yes, I wish you came and shared information, intelligence, how you can handle terrorists. We live with them across. But the information here, we have been very, very, very careful with peace. All of us are involved in it. You want to see a man buying 200 SIM cards and you leave him to go. No, we shall report you. We shall arrest you. Why are you buying 200 loaves? If your house only eats 1 loaf, why do you buy 200 loaves? For terrorism to get out of Africa, We must start community policing. Community policing will tell you who is a terrorist, who is he, where has he come from, where was he. So Kenya has brought in a tough regime and tough laws. Every telephone conversation that you have, if it links to Al-Shabaab, we shall get you. So there is no way you can run away and kill people and then run away in the Sahel and disappear there, then come back and kill people again in Maiduguri, then go back. No. Here we have been very, very straightforward. And we have no mercy. We give you, we leave you to go to court. And you see, we have also human part of it. Kenya has a human part of it. Some other countries would just kill, but they put them on trial for them to get a fair trial.
Dr. David Masanga, thank you so much for your thoughts. Always love speaking with you. Looking forward to another conversation.
By the way, before you go,
okay.
You know this ISIS is spreading even in Mozambique. We have the Al-Shabaab now has gone to Mozambique, started a base there. So we must, all African countries, unite and fight terrorism. Let's help Nigeria to fight terrorism. Let's help every African country to fight terrorism. Thank you very much.
Thank you once again. And outside Africa still, at least 7 people have been killed in a landslide sparked by heavy rains in El Salvador, and more than 30 more are suspected missing under a deluge of mud, the government said on Friday. The mudslide hit the village of Los Angelitos in the municipality of Nejapa, around 17 kilometers north of the capital, San Salvador, after heavy rains on the flanks of the San Salvador volcano. And now in business, with just days to go before the U.S. presidential election on November 3rd, the rest of the world is holding its breath as to the outcome. Early voting has been setting records across the United States, with more than 9 million people already casting their ballots in Texas, a stronghold for the Republicans and President Donald Trump. But polls suggest Democratic nominee Joe Biden is now level there. Across Europe, governments are waiting to see what effect the election will have on them.
I've got hopes that Joe Biden will win. I've got a feeling that Trump will just sneak in there. But obviously I think Biden will be the best for the UK economy to support us. I don't think Trump particularly cares about us all that much. But yeah, that's my hopes anyway, that Biden will win.
Yes, Trump has improved the US economy a bit, but I think his views on things are just so outdated, and Joe Biden's a lot more current and far more popular. So I think just for the welfare of the US and the rest of the world and the relationship with the UK, I think, yeah, Joe Biden is probably the person who should win.
Well, I hope it's Biden because Trump's awful for the whole world, for America, for Brits, for everybody, really. Women, black people, everybody.
And up next is our roundup on entertainment and sports news.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the barbing, I pay my rent. On the barbing, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
The Nigerian Official Selection Committee for the Academy Awards IFF submissions has announced the reopening of its portals to allow new submissions. According to a press statement released by the NOSC, the decision to reopen its portals comes in the wake of the realization upon review that some of the initial submissions did not meet the Academy's eligibility rules. NOSC further revealed that the decision was made following the Academy's approval of Pidgin English as a foreign language. Reacting to the reopening of the NOSC portals, Chairperson Chineze Ayene Abonyi revealed that while it was a tough call, the decision had to be made. And now for some sports news. Wolverhampton Wanderers moved up to third in the English Premier League EPL after beating Crystal Palace 2-0 on Friday. It was all thanks to goals from on-loan teenage wingback Ryan Aït-Nouri and Daniel Podence. France under-21 international Aït-Nouri gave the host the lead in the 18th minute after latching onto a clearance and driving a bouncing shot into the far corner. It was his first goal in senior football on his Premier League debut. Also, Wolves midfielder Leander Den Donker then hit the post with a powerful shot before Portuguese winger Pondens made it 2-0. And the president of the Confederation of African Football, CAF, Ahmad Ahmad, has tested positive for COVID-19. A statement on the website of the Continental Football Governing Body on Friday said the president, after his arrival to Cairo on October 28th, presented mild flu symptoms and submitted to the COVID-19 protocol. Today, the test results are positive and the president immediately self-isolates for the next 14 days at his hotel. All those who have come in contact with Ahmad over the past 7 days, especially during his trip to Morocco for the Confederations Cup, have been informed and requested to take necessary measures. Also in sport, Portugal and Juventus forward Cristiano Ronaldo has recovered from coronavirus, tested negative after self-isolating. The 35-year-old tested positive on October 13 and missed out on Juventus' 2-0 Champions League defeat by Barcelona on Wednesday. During his absence, he missed 2 Serie A games plus the Italian Champions League first 2 European matches. Ronaldo last featured against France in the Nations League on 11th of October. Prior to his positive test, Ronaldo has scored 3 goals for Juventus' first 2 league games. And that's our news roundup of events at this hour. For more news updates, please follow us at Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa. We'll be back later with more stories making headlines. Do join us. I am Osaogi Ogbonwa.
My name is John Ayuba, and I am from Borno State.
In the night, I'll dress up, go outside, go look for men.
I was afraid. Let me just be open. I was really, really afraid to bring Rita in.
When I retired, yet on 13, my girlfriend called me, said that if I want to travel, and I said, okay, may I look at our feet. That time I did with my husband, and they work for Pure Water Factory. They manage the money, they pay me 8,000 naira at that time, 18,000. Manage money to the feed, take care of my two children. And of course, okay, make I come Dubai. And of course, how that side, say that side, they okay, may I come. That's okay, no wahala. I said, but I not get money to come that side. Because I know what Ingo person one man dey, the man go take care of my document, everything. That's okay, no wahala. So I can do my passport, I can go. When I reach home, my man say I don't meet a good place, say that from that place go, everything don't dey okay for me. I understand there my whole suffering start already. Then I can't do. My girlfriend and they talk normal for phone before. Suddenly, just everything, as I just reach, everything change. Everything changed totally. I see one black guy come, say for today go and be my oga. And so oga for waiting. He say na money to carry me can I get to pay. And I said, but this will not be our agreement. He say I need to pay the money. He say in the night I get to dress up, go outside, go also the money. I call and say, all these things not be waiting me and you guys talk for I come up for Nigeria. Not be all these things you promised me. Why you want to maltreat me like this? I call say, well, I know but nowhere to run to. No anybody when I know. I come and buy. In the night I'll dress up, go outside, go look for men. Come ask. The day when I'll bring money, that day I will eat. The day I'll not bring money, I will stay hungry. I call they do one like that to see. Come reach 3 months, then the guy call me. Say, no. My paper already expire. I want to go back to Nigeria. I said, I don't feel go back. I don't get 15 naira. I don't get any money. I want to go back to Nigeria. All my money when they make it, they give you now. I want to start if I reach Nigeria. I want to take off my 2 children when I leave for us. Then he got me say no. Say I need to go back or if police catch me on my own. I call the crack and say, God, which kind of life with this one? God, how if you take more for you now? God, which kind of life with this one? The other night, I come, after I eat finish, I come see back my dress come out. So I just come out. Wait till I see police. 3 of them. They say, where my paper? And my paper already expired. I say, oh, God, no get paper, no paper. They say, my brother say, oh, God, no get paper. Wait till I do the point call for my hand. I see myself for prison, for station. So I reach there, they say and I say, may I bring my paper? I call the guy. Oga, how far? Police already catch me. He say, as police don't catch me now, me I not get any business. For today, for now on, may I do my own. May I not even try and call a number again. And then I come cut the call. I come the cry, I say, God, which kind of life be this one? God, I need your help. God, I need your help. God, I need your help. And then the CID man comes here. Where my paper? I said, I don't see my paper. I said, okay. They need to deport me. Now I say no wahala. So far I reach my country safe. They say, no, I need to stay for prison for 3 months. I said 3 months for prison. I said, what? He said I need to stay for prison for 3 months. Now I can say, because when they catch me along the road. Because why I define man that night. And second, my paper already expire. Because I need to serve, I need to stay for prison for 3 months. Can't stay for prison for 3 months without only 1 cloth when I wear. Now let that cloth I can't see until the mileage in 3 months. And then I can say, God, I need freedom. God, I need your help. God, if you feel rescue me for a year, anywhere I go, I must serve you. After my 3 months they expire, they come carry me come and because okay, now I go buy my tickets. I need to come back to Nigeria, my ticket though. I don't get money for tickets. I'm going to say, okay, I don't get money for tickets. Any year now, I don't do me. I don't get money to buy tickets. Nothing. I don't get anybody to call to say, may I buy tickets. In the morning, I just see the woman just call. Say, may I come out. Carry me go this thing, their office. He said, I said, don't buy ticket for me. I say, who buy ticket for me? He said, may I not ask question. Say, don't buy ticket for me. Say, but never book my ticket already. I said, Jesus, this one a miracle. I said, Jesus, thank you. Don't let me rot it for you. I said, Jesus, thank you. Jesus, thank you. They now carry me back to prison again. I see in the evening of it, they say, Rita, come out. You are free to go. I say, God, is this miracle? God, is this miracle? I say, God, is this miracle? I started rejoicing. I started happy. I said, God, thank you, Jesus. I said, thank you, Jesus. I said, thank you, Jesus. And now put me inside vehicle, take me to airport. And I enter the plane. That enter plane finish. I say, God, who I know for Lagos when I go meet now? Plane can't drop. Who I know for Lagos? We are for start for Lagos. Who I want go meet for Lagos? Can't get one girl we stay beside me. Call and say, babe, how far? See my condition. I no get where they go for Lagos. I bet you know anybody might feel follow you stay. The guy say, man, no worry, man. He get guests when they take care of. If we reach Lagos, he go take care of me. He will get where we'll go. They go polish me. They go give me fine clothes. I will live normal life. We'll go out, go the flex, and enjoy. After the girl they tell me all this, I consider say God. My mate can't come back say, now wait till you promise God, make God do. Wait till you tell God say you won't do. Now you won't do so. You come up for where shower. You won't see enter a shower again. And wait till you talk say you won't do be this one. And my mate can say no. I tell God, say, God, if God release me from prison, the first place I fair go na church. When wants to go back to prostitution again? And I can say, no, not follow this girl. Not follow this girl. This girl won't follow, so not follow her. I can say, okay, if I don't follow this girl, who I can't follow? I can't sit down, I can't cry. Only me I can't cry. Can't come down for Kenya. As we come down for Kenya, let's come down for Kenya. We got to enter plane again. We won't come back to Nigeria. I can't sit down. One lady can't sit down near me.
My name is Ayodeji Lawrence, and I coordinate the Praying Hannah's ministry. So I went to Kenya to minister at a women's conference. That was in 2017 March. And on my way back, I got on the flight. I went with my friend. She's a bit, plummier than I am. She was meant to sit in the middle of the three-seater. I said, sis, you are big. It's a bit on the big side. You sit by the aisle. Let me sit in the middle. So I sat in the middle, and it happened that Rita sat at the extreme end of the seats. And as I sat down, I just noticed she was heaving. I thought maybe it would just be one sigh, and that would be it. But it continued. And I looked at her. I said, I hope all is well. She said, no, all is not well. And I said, so tell me, what is it? She said she was not going to tell me. And I said, no, I'm going to hold on to the first thing that you said, that all is not well. I said, tell me exactly what is wrong with you. And that was how she started her whole story.
So see as I say, go Dubai. See as shower when they do. See as I say, stay for prison for 3 months. See as God set me free. Now, I don't get where to go. See lady when they beside me for them, I don't follow and go. I go see start the same prostitution again. That lady can say no. As far as you tell God, say you won't go here, go serve her. I won't carry you go our church. I say, Mama, they carry me go church? He say yes. I say, you just now church, they carry me, they go. I say yes. See, it's not fall out of my head. He say, no, don't cry. Say for now go, your suffering is finished. And I say, okay. And I say, okay. Are you sure? He say yes. He say, don't cry again. Don't cry. I say, Mama, are you sure? He say yes. He said, for today go, you be my responsibility. And the man said, Mama, are you sure? He said, don't cry. Don't cry again. Just sleep. Don't cry. I said, Mama, it's okay. He said, take this paper. Read it. Wipe away your problem. Just be reading it. I said, no. Mama, he said, don't worry. Sleep. Don't cry again. I said, just sleep. And I said, okay. I said, God, thank you. As far as this lady brings steady for me to help me, I say, God, thank you. I just say, God, thank you. God, thank you. Jesus, thank you. After all the other thing, our plane come down. This lady hold my hand, say, come follow me. I say, Mama, say, they will help me. Immigration people will help me. I don't have passport. He say, don't worry. I say, for now, God will take care of you. I say, Mama, he said, don't worry, follow me. Let's go.
And for me, there were a few things that struck me in the whole process. Because normally when you're deported, there's always someone that stays with you, maybe a custom officer or something, or maybe someone who is in charge of the law or something. But in our own case, she was the only one. And she was even allowed to sit with the other passengers, because normally I think they sit at the back, of the cabin. And for me, that was really, really a strange setting. So that was how we got talking. She was crying. I told her not to cry, just pacifying her and all. In the process, I led her to Christ, because that's one of the things I believe as a child of God, you should be able to let other people know what you are enjoying. So she gave her heart to Christ in the process. I was like, Lord, what do? I can't leave her this way. And you know, the love home came to mind. I put a call through, but unfortunately they said because I'm an individual, I'm not coming from an organization, they won't be able to take her up. And I said, okay, what else can I do? And I called church. And church, you know, I spoke with Pastor Emmanuel.
Mrs. Ayo Lawrence, the head or founder of the Praying Hannah's ministry, approached me on a particular day, and she said she had a case in her hands and she wanted me to get involved and help out. And then she told me of an encounter with Rita on her flight coming from Kenya. And I felt, wow, this is interesting. In my mind, I was thinking, okay, you met this person for the first time. You don't even know her background, and you bring her up here. So what do you want us to do? However, because of what the Elevation Church stands for, you know, one of our core values is, you know, love, you know, and we just believe that, okay, this is someone that is out there lost, that is looking for love, but actually looking for love in the wrong places, looking for fulfillment in the wrong places, seeking purpose, but seeking purpose in the wrong places.
She now had to go home with Pastor Tim. You know, she slept over at Pastor Tim's house for the 2 nights she was in Lagos.
My name is Timothy Aderemi. I work with the Elevation Church. At the time of meeting Rita, I was assisting the pastor in charge of membership. So Sister Yo called, just shared with me. So that we're torn between, okay, we don't even know. We don't know her. One of the things that we preach in our church is that the Elevation Church is not only a church that people attend, but there's a family that people belong to. And so I have a small 3-bedroom at home, very small. and then, you know, just because of my heart for the, sometimes I question, why, God, why did you give me this soft heart, you know, for people? Maybe because I've also been through stuff in my life, and I felt one way to do this is to give back, you know, give a helping hand. And so that day I put a call through to my wife. I said, there's this young lady in church introduced to me by our own friend, Sister Yo Lawrence. I said, it's Sister Yo. So beyond the fact that she's coming into an Elevation Church family, whatever Sister Yo is involved in, I would also gladly, you know, get myself really involved. And it called to my wife. She also believed in her husband, so she said, okay, why not? Let her come in.
My name is John Ayuba, and I am from Borno State.
In the night, I'll dress up, go outside, go look for men.
I was afraid. Let me just be open. I was really, really afraid to bring Rita in.
The story continues as we rejoin Rita's story of redemption on 1 in a Million.
In life, we have, it's like a football match. Yeah, you have first half, you have second half, and you have half time. Her meeting Sister Yo was just that half-time moment for her.
My name is John Ayuba, and I am from Borno State.
In the night, I'll dress up, go outside, go look for men.
I was afraid. Let me just be open. I was really, really afraid to bring Rita in.
I remember that day, it was, maybe we finished the office around maybe 11 or so. I put her in the car, and as we're going, a lot of thoughts were just flowing through her. What if she just stopped breathing in the car? I mean, I like to think, you know, wide and all of that. And thankfully, she didn't stop breathing. She came in because she was looking very, you know, tired after the experience. So I took her home, got home, I said, babe, this is the lady I was talking about. And my wife gladly, and then I just left both of them because I was also very tired. And around maybe 2 a.m. or so, I came out, I saw both of them gisting. I don't know what they were talking about. But I know my wife kept encouraging her, this is not the end of your life. God has, started quoting scripture. I think they prayed a little, and then I came into the room. I remember just one thing that I said to her. I said, the best of God for you is never in the past, but in the future. And so I brought her back to the office. I didn't remember us taking selfies with her, maybe it wasn't the day of selfie. And then I handed over to Sister Yo Lawrence, and I was happy that at least we're part of a journey in this period of time.
But along the line, we put a call, we found out that she was married, with 2 children, which was really very strange. I was like, how come, So we called the husband there and then.
And I said, look, do you know where your wife is? And he told me the story, how they've been struggling with finances and this and that, and how his wife was deceived by a friend, traveled out, he doesn't even know where she traveled to, and on and on. And I told her, okay, you know what, your wife is with us, she's in Lagos. I was like, oh, interesting, what happened? So I was able to give him a bit of the story, as I was told by Mrs. Ario, and then he said, fine, that's okay. After talking to him and counseling him about forgiveness, about restoration, about taking his family back and everything, it's like, fine, that pastor, I'm ready, I'm okay. I'll take her back, it doesn't matter. I mean, she did what she did out of ignorance, I'm willing to forgive her and let her in.
Mama was okay, for now going to accept me, and then I can start. Come says, Mama, I don't feel sit down for I can't say me, I don't worry. You go find money for me, I take trade. Which kind of business I won't do? Me, I tell her, you go do business for me. I say, I can't tell Mama say, I say, this kind of person for life again. This kind of person, they exist for life. I say, Mommy, I don't know. For that, because which business I will start? I was okay. I they do it. As I be do it where? I they do it. And because okay, I go open salon. I say yes, I go open salon. He say, are you sure? I say yes, I go open salon. Because how much I feel use to open the salon? Can retailer? I say how much I go, how much I use. You never even reach 2 days. I say a lot. Say Daddy send me the money. I say, so na miracle. God, this one a miracle. I want to become mother of my own. And then I come through, I come open store. And then I did now take the manage my business now. So God be the glory. I can't even get guests when they learn work from my hand. I get 2 guests when they learn work. When they come, they will say, Madam, may I do this one? Madam, may I do this one? I just thank God for everything, for what God has done in my life. For what God has bring this woman to come and do in my life. And since then I met this woman, my life changed. Anytime they go wrong, you must tell me, say, this one is wrong. Make sure say you do this one. I just thank God for making me. I just thank God for making him to make me to know this lady. I just thank God. Say, God, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I want to thank him too. I want to thank him. He's a big help to me, very big one. If it's not him today, maybe I don't know how my life will turn to. I don't know. I don't really know. I just thank him. I just thank him. I thank him very, very much. A lot. So much thank you, man.
Yeah, Rita's story is pathetic. It still boils down to what we have been talking about, and then the environment, what the environment can lead people to. Rita, for God's sake, is a victim. She has not committed any offense. Somebody took advantage of her because she needed to survive her, and trafficked her, smuggled her to another country. So at the end of the day, she found herself in a terrible situation. So I think the message from Rita, first of all, is also an eye-opener to the youths, and to the young girls there, that all that glitters is not good out there. A lot of stories are going up and down. A lot of them are frustrated, they're under pressure, they want to get things done the faster way. That is what the in thing now. As we are talking now, the idea of going through Libya has come down. What is reigning now is going through Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, you know, with visa. They will give you tourist visa. They will give you 3 months visa. By the time you land there, they confiscate your visa, you start working as a slave. But also to our government, let them try and encourage a kind of a healthy bilateral relationship between countries, so that if our citizens fall victims of some of these things, there will be a better way of handling them. And to other people, they should learn not to put their destiny in other people's hands. Traffickers and smugglers are destiny killers.
Basically, for me, this story is about touching lives. It's about influence. You know, it's about not being concerned about you, yourself, and I alone. It's about reaching out to somebody else out there. You know, we always said it is cold out there. You can be the warmth that somebody is looking for. That's why the scripture says you are the light of the world. You are a city set upon a hill that cannot be hid.
Okay, so talking about Rita's story, one thing that really struck me was the fact that I just believe that God really is still interested in her life, her future, her marriage, because from the little I knew about her story, where she traveled to, the fact that God could still speak to the husband, because I don't think it was anybody. I mean, I'm married, so if I get to, God forbid, my wife engage in such thing, I would forgive, but it takes God to speak to a man's heart to know some of the likely things that your wife had done, and then with everything she came back to you, and you still take her. I mean, it takes God. So I saw God's work in all of this, and I also saw, new beginning.
Yes, when we're still thinking, how do I handle her? Love home wasn't coming through at that point in time. But I couldn't really, say I want to bring her in. I don't really know her. I'm just meeting her and considering her story. It wasn't something I was afraid. Let me just be open. I was really afraid to bring Rita in at that point in time. So it wasn't something that came, naturally to have her in the house. At the point wherein she told me her story on the plane, because by the time she told me how, what she went through in Dubai and how she got on the plane, and I began to see that I wasn't supposed to even sit here in the first place. Why did I tell my friend to swap with me? It was actually from the plane that I knew God was up to something. We didn't even have enough money for me to go for the conference. And I had to ask the board of trustees, can I go on this trip? Can I take out of this money to go on this trip? And they said, yes, it's ministry you're doing. You're not going, to enjoy yourself. You're going for ministry. So by all means, take out of the money from the account and go on that trip. And for me, with hindsight now, I believe I went on that trip for Rita. One of the things I've learned is we should be open and allow God to interject our plans. I'll say my kind of person, naturally, I would have said, I don't want wahala. Let her be, let me be. Or as humans, we would have said, this person I don't know. But I've learned from this whole process that when you are available, God will always find you and use you. 2017 August, I traveled to Benin. She didn't know I was coming. I just put a call through to her in the morning. Rita, how are you doing? I hope business is going on. I hope you're doing well. She said, yes, okay. I said, okay. I hope you're going to the shop today. She said, yeah, she's going to the shop. And she's just trying to put a few things together in the morning. She didn't know I was already at the airport. So by midday, I just showed up at her stall, and you know, she was all over shouting and all. And that was how I went to meet her mother-in-law, saw the children, you know. Unfortunately, I didn't meet her husband because her husband wasn't in town at that point in time. Okay, seeing her with the children made me to know that family is key. No matter how you have strayed, no matter how you have gone away, we can't take that, we can't take out the family unit. If there is love, people will always take you back. And that was what I saw, you know, with the children, with her mother-in-law, and even the few times I spoke with her husband on the phone, I could see that, you know, they were able to continue from where she left off before she left the house.
My name is John Ayuba, and I am from Borno State.
In the night, I'll dress up, go outside, go look for men.
I was afraid. Let me just be open. I was really, really afraid to bring Rita in.
Nigerian, you can't even look good.
They are all criminals. They are not the policemen. Now we continue to kill us.
Plus TV Africa. Wherever the story goes, we go.
We are the Lekki toll gate. The crowd is growing.
Now because we get dreadlock, police brutality is too much.
These officers, we are tired.
This is just the beginning.
Following the conversation.
The Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the Nigerian Police, otherwise known as SARS, is hereby dissolved.
This stuff where you did talk now, yeah.
They've ended SARS online. SARS offline don't know what's going on.
Any SARS will touch my picky, we will die here. We don't die here.
Why isn't the message by the IGP enough?
Without the proper equipment and proper orientation, you're still going to have garbage in, garbage out.
SARS has been disbanded. Disbanding of SARS is only the first step.
It is not a crime that we were born Nigerian.
Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.